This right here is ESR's 3-in-1 Qi 2.2 magnetic charging station with Cryo Boost. Now that's a long name. Anyways, I've been using an older version of this thing for a while, loving it. Then ESR sent this updated version over, so I'll be talking about its features, charging capabilities, and this really cool trick it has up its sleeve that'll help preserve iPhone battery health. Alrighty, let's get started. First off, hardware and build quality. This thing can charge 3 Apple devices at once, and it's designed around just that. At the center of this whole thing is the MagSafe charger for the iPhone. Right behind that you get the Apple Watch charger, and at the bottom you get a pad to charge your AirPods, as well as a button we'll talk about later. The whole ESR charger is built pretty nice and solid, and it by no means feels cheap. It's nice and sturdy, and it doesn't really bend or anything like cheaper plastic accessories would. A nice quality of life feature that I found is that the stand is really well balanced. Like here I'm trying to tip it over, and it's just not budging. Even with the heavy big back iPhone 17 Pro Max attached to the charger, I don't really have to worry about the thing falling over. And for some extra stability, there's 4 rubber feet at the bottom, so overall this stand is built to, well, stand. I also really like the design of this stand. It doesn't take up much space, like it's barely taller than my iPhone 17 Pro Max, so it's definitely quite compact, and it's a lot nicer than having 3 cables all strewn around. And I'm loving the matte black color here, although you can pick this thing up in white if that's more your speed. But this is a charger, so the most important thing to talk about is obviously the charging. There's 3 chargers, so I'll talk about all of them separately, but first off, I'll talk about what's powering this whole thing. The stand plugs in using USB-C, and ESR gives a USB-C to C cable and actually gives a power brick in the package. In the Big 25! It's also a 50-watt power brick, so it's powerful enough to charge my MacBook. The brick my MacBook Air came with is a dinky little 30-watt charger. But onto the chargers. The AirPods charging section has a silicone pad, so the AirPods stay there and don't slip around. It's pretty much what you'd expect from an AirPods charger, but the Apple Watch charger is definitely not what you'd expect. It's got all your standard bells and whistles, it's MFW certified, and is quite fast, charging an Apple Watch Series 10 to 50% in just 30 minutes. But for me, the standard feature of this watch charger is that I can just remove it from the stand to take it on the go, and it even comes with a magnetic port cover. It beats lugging the long Apple cable around everywhere, and you can plug it pretty much anywhere you'd normally plug a USB-C cable, so you can slap it onto your laptop or iPad. The fact that it's so easy to access is really nice too. With the Apple cable, if I wanted to take it out on the go with me, I'd have to go down to the outlets and unplug the cable there. But now I can just take the charger off of the stand, just like that, and it's such a compact little package. It's less about the size and more about what that size can do for you. Now onto the main thing, the big MagSafe charger for the iPhone. And technically, because it's MagSafe, you can also charge your AirPods on this thing, but why would you? And you can also charge it on the Apple Watch charger. Anyways, like the Apple Watch charger, it's got all your standard stuff you'd expect from a wireless charger, but with a pretty unique standout feature I'll get to in a bit. It's MagSafe, so it supports standby, and I can pretty much put my phone on the charger at whatever angle I want. Portrait, landscape, 67 degrees. Now, I normally have 2 complaints with wireless charging, and the first one is speed. Wireless charging is generally slower than wired charging, but with this 3-in-1 charging station, ESR says it can charge an iPhone 17 to 60% in 30 minutes and an iPhone 17 Pro Max to 51% in 30 minutes. In my own testing with my personal iPhone 17 Pro Max, I went from 10% to 54% in 30 minutes, which is pretty close to what they claim, and it also makes sense because the fuller a battery gets, the slower it charges. I found that with this kind of charging speed, I haven't really been charging my iPhone with cable because I didn't have a reason to. Wireless charging is more convenient. I can just plop it on the charger and the stand still charges about as fast as a wired cable. But what about that second complaint? Which is heat, by the way. Now, do you remember the really cool trick I mentioned before? Turns out it is a cool feature indeed because it cools the phone down. See how clever that was? This charging stand has ESR's Cryo Boost technology, which is basically a fan placed right under the wireless charger. Oh, and they also added a blue LED ring thingy. Kind of reminds me of Alexa. But yeah, I love this feature. When I'm charging the phone, I can actually feel the cool air coming from the fan, and it basically just doesn't get hot. Like, at all. This was my second complaint with wireless charging, the fact that it got so hot. Heat's bad for the battery and causes it to age quicker, so why would I want to do that when I could just plug my phone into a cable? It's also just uncomfortable to take a hot phone off the charger. But Cryo Boost basically gets rid of that heat that comes with traditional wireless chargers while keeping all of the wireless charging benefits, like the convenience, which is awesome. But what about the fan volume? Fans are loud. This one is actually pretty good in terms of volume. It runs at below 25 decibels, and in the daytime, I don't really notice the sound. At night, sometimes the noise is a bit noticeable, but thankfully, there's a button here to turn the fan off. So yeah, Cryo Boost. A really cool feature. I gotta stop making that joke. Overall, this is a solid wireless charger. Charges all my stuff pretty fast, and I'm loving the Cryo Boost feature. The detachable Apple Watch charger, and included 50-watt power brick are also nice little bonuses, and overall this product just feels really well thought out. And overall, this product just feels really well thought out in terms of design. If you want to pick up this charger, I'll leave links in the description and comments below, or just search up ESR 3-in-1 MagSafe charging station on Amazon. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching. Thanks to ESR for sending this over. Be awesome and stay techie. Bye. Just realized actually, writing this script, the AirPods can fit on all 3 of these chargers because these guys, the AirPods Pro 2, support wireless charging, MagSafe charging, and also Apple Watch charging. So technically, I could charge them on all 3 of the chargers on here. This is technically just a big AirPods charging station. You could charge 3 AirPods at a time here. That is actually really funny. Dang.